Hello friends, welcome to Prashant IAS. So friends, in the last class, we have completed our discussion with Consolidated Fund of India and Public Accounts of India. And in this class, we will continue our discussion further. So friends, as you can see on your mobile screens, the topic of today's class is Contingency Fund of India. So friends, now let us begin our discussion with Contingency Fund of India. So friends, the first question is that under which article of the Indian Constitution Contingency Fund of India is given? Okay, or we can also say this like which article of the Indian Constitution discuss about the Contingency Fund of India. Okay, so as we are studying here the Constitution of India, so first of all, it is our duty to know that in which article of the Indian Constitution Contingency Fund of India is given. So friends, the answer to this question is that Article 267 discuss about the Contingency Fund of India, or we can also say this like that Contingency Fund of India is given under Article 267 of the Indian Constitution. So first of all, remember this thing that Contingency Fund of India is given under Article 267 of the Indian Constitution. So now friends, now let's move further. Now friends, after this, the next question is that what is Contingency Fund of India? Or we can also say this like that what is the meaning of Contingency Fund of India? So now we know that Article 267 discusses about the Contingency Fund of India. So now we need to know that what is the meaning of Contingency Fund of India. Because once we are clear with the meaning of Contingency Fund of India, then only we will be able to discuss the further things about Contingency Fund. So now let's see that what is the meaning of Contingency Fund of India. So friends, you can say that Contingency Fund of India is a emergency fund. Okay, so what is this? Contingency Fund of India is an emergency fund. Now what is the meaning of emergency fund? Emergency fund means that if there is an unforeseen situation, okay, if there is an unforeseen situation or expenditure which is faced by the government of India, then government can use this Contingency Fund of India. Okay. So now what does it mean? So I have told you that Contingency Fund of India is actually a emergency fund. Emergency fund means government will use this fund in the unforeseen situations. Now what is the meaning of unforeseen situations? Unforeseen situations means that government was not aware of that situation and suddenly that situation emerges in front of the government. Okay, for example, the emergency condition or the unforeseen situations can be, for example, if suddenly a country attacks on India. Okay, so if a country will suddenly attack on India, then definitely India will have to declare war against that country. Okay, and definitely you know this that we need a lot of money in the war. Okay, we need a lot of money to spend in the war. We need a lot of money to spend on the weapons, to spend on the bullets, to spend on other things. Okay, so a lot of money will be used. Government will need a lot of money. So from where this money will come? So definitely first of all government will withdraw this money from the Contingency Fund of India. Okay, so if there is any emergency situation, if there is any situation for which the government is not prepared, if there is any situation which is unforeseen for the government, then government takes money out of Contingency Fund of India to meet that situation, to deal with that situation. Okay, now we can take other examples also. For example, let's suppose if there is a natural calamity, if there is some big natural disaster, for example, you can say that let's suppose if there is an earthquake, okay, and due to earthquake there is a great loss of life and property, and now government needs money to deal with the destruction caused by the earthquake. Earthquake has destroyed many buildings, earthquake has destroyed many offices, it has killed many people. Okay, so now government will need money to give compensation to the families who have lost their members, to give to again bring the economy on track. Okay, so government will need a lot of fund. Let's suppose if there is tsunami, if there is any other natural disaster, then government needs a lot of money. Okay, if there is a cyclone, then also government needs a lot of money to deal with that situation. So what is contingency fund of India? So contingency fund of India basically means it is an emergency fund. It is a fund which is used in the unforeseen situations. If there is some emergency situation for which the government is not prepared, okay, and government needs a lot of money to deal with that situation. So the question is that from where the government will arrange money from. Okay, because if there is some emergency situation, if there is some unforeseen situation, for example, if there is earthquake, if there is tsunami, if there is war, or we can say any other thing, then government will need a lot of money to deal with this situation. So from where the government will get that money? So the simplest answer to this question is that the government will get the money from contingency fund of India. So it is a emergency fund which saves the country, which saves the people of our country in the emergency time. Now friends, after this the next question is that at whose disposal the contingency fund of India is placed. Okay, so remember I have told you in the class of consolidated fund of India that consolidated fund of India is placed at the disposal of Parliament. Means Parliament is the in charge of consolidated fund of India. Without the permission of Parliament, not even a single penny can be withdrawn or deposited in the consolidated fund of India. Okay, so this is the meaning of disposal. Means who is the in charge. Okay, so now the question is that who is the in charge of contingency fund of India. Okay, so we can say this, that at whose disposal contingency fund of India is placed, or we can also say this like that who is the in charge officer of contingency fund of India. Okay, so now friends, I need you all to guess the answer. Okay, and if you know the answer, then give your answer in the comment section. So please pause the video and give your answer in the comment section. Okay, and definitely I will read all of your answers. So friends, now I will tell you that at whose disposal the contingency fund of India is placed. So the simplest answer to this question is that the contingency fund of India is placed at the disposal of President of India. Okay, so contingency fund of India is placed at the disposal of President of India. It means that President is the in charge officer. Okay, President is the in charge officer of contingency fund of India. Okay, so who is the in charge officer of contingency fund of India? President of India is the in charge officer of contingency fund of India. Now friends, after this, remember I told you in the class of consolidated fund of India that what happens, that article 266 of the Indian Constitution, okay, article 266 of the Indian Constitution establishes the consolidated fund of India. Okay, so what happens, that article 266 provides for consolidated fund of India, or article 266 has established the consolidated fund of India. Okay, now friends, remember in the class of public accounts of India, I told you that the same article 266 also establishes the public accounts of India. Okay, so the same article also establishes the public accounts of India. Okay, now friends, what does it mean? So it means that article 266 has already established consolidated fund of India. Article 266 has already established the public accounts of India. Means there is no need of a separate law. There is no need of a separate law to make these funds. Why? Because Constitution itself has made these funds. Okay, so it means that article 266 itself has made consolidated fund of India. Article 266 has already established the public accounts of India. Okay, means these funds are established by the Constitution itself. Means there is no need of a separate law to establish or to make these funds. But friends, the case is different in case of contingency fund of India. Okay, so now what happens in case of contingency fund of India? So I have told you that article 267 of the Indian Constitution discusses about the contingency fund of India, or contingency fund of India is given under Article 267 of the Indian Constitution. But there is a twist. The twist is that Article 267 tells us about the contingency fund of India, but it does not establishes the contingency fund of India. Okay, so Article 267 does not establish the contingency fund of India on its own. Okay, means Article 267 is not establishing, it has not established the contingency fund of India on its own. So now the question is that if Article 267 is only telling us about the contingency fund of India, Article 267 is only informing us about contingency fund of India, and it has not established the contingency fund of India, then who has established the contingency fund of India? Okay, so now let us discuss about it. So friends, what happens that Article 267 actually empowers the parliament, or we can also say that it actually authorizes the parliament. Means what is happening, that Article 267 is giving power to parliament to make a law. Okay, so parliament can make a law, and parliament by making a law can make a emergency fund which is known as contingency fund of India. Okay, so what is happening, are you getting my point? So what is happening, that Article 267 has provided the power, Article 267 has authorized or has provided the power to the Parliament of India. Okay, so Article 267 has provided the power to Parliament of India to make a law. Okay, and by making a law, Parliament of India can establish a emergency fund which will be called as contingency fund of India. So who establishes the contingency fund of India? So Parliament has the power to establish contingency fund of India by making a separate law. Okay, so now we are having a contingency fund of India in our country. So the question is that who has established the contingency fund of India? So the answer to this question is that Parliament of India by a law has established the contingency fund of India, and Article 267 is only authorizing the parliament to make a emergency fund. Article 267 is only empowering the parliament to make an emergency fund, but parliament is making a law, and by making a law, parliament is establishing a separate fund. Parliament has established a separate fund which is emergency fund and which is known as contingency fund of India. So friends, now you all know that what happens, that consolidated fund of India, okay, and public accounts of India, both of these funds has established by the constitution itself. But contingency fund of India is actually established by the Parliament of India. Okay, so now what we will say, that consolidated fund of India and public accounts fund of India. Okay, consolidated fund of India and public accounts of India, as both of these funds are established by the constitution of India, so both of these funds are actually constitutional funds. Okay, so consolidated fund of India and public accounts of India, both of these funds are actually established by the constitution. That's why both of these funds are called as constitutional fund. Okay, so they are called as constitutional fund. But what happens, that the contingency fund of India is established by the Parliament of India. Okay, means it has been established by the law of a parliament. So friends, what happens, that if anybody is not established, if anybody is not made by the provisions of constitution itself, but if it is established by the law of parliament, then that body is known as statutory body. Okay, so then that body is known as statutory body. Similarly, as the contingency fund of India is not established by the constitution of India, it is established by the law of parliament. That's why contingency fund of India is a statutory fund. Okay, so it is not a constitutional fund, it is a statutory fund. Now friends, after this, let's move forward to another question. So the next question is that what is the upper limit? What is the upper limit of contingency fund of India? Upper limit means how much maximum amount of money can be deposited in contingency fund of India. Okay. Now friends, in the previous classes, I have taught you about the consolidated fund of India and public accounts of India. So can you now tell me that what is the upper limit of consolidated fund of India and public accounts of India? So please friends, pause the video and give your answer in the comment section that what is the upper limit of consolidated fund of India and public accounts of India. Then I will tell you. So friends, in the case of consolidated fund of India, there is no upper limit. Okay, so there is no upper limit in the case of consolidated fund of India. Means any amount of money can be deposited in consolidated fund of India. There is no upper limit. There is no upper limit. Okay, we can deposit any amount of money. We can deposit as much money as we are having. We can deposit as much money as the government is receiving. Okay, so there is no upper limit for consolidated fund of India. Now what is the upper limit of public accounts of India? So the answer is same here also. So there is no upper limit for public accounts of India. Okay, so the government can deposit any amount of money in public accounts of India which the government is receiving from the sources prescribed for the public accounts of India. Okay, so I have told you that there are separate sources for consolidated fund of India and public accounts of India. So there is no upper limit for consolidated fund of India. So government can deposit any amount of money which the government is receiving from the sources which are prescribed for consolidated fund of India in the consolidated fund of India. Okay, so what happens that there is no upper limit for consolidated fund of India and there is no upper limit for public accounts of India. Government can deposit any amount of money as the government is having. Okay, but now let's come to our basic question. So the main question was that what is the upper limit of contingency fund of India? So friends, the upper limit of contingency fund of India is rupees 500 crores. Okay, so what is the upper limit of contingency fund of India? So it is 500 crore rupees. Now what does it mean that 500 crore is the upper limit of contingency fund of India? So it means that the maximum 500 crores can be deposited in contingency fund of India, but no money can be deposited in contingency fund of India if the limit of 500 crores has already been reached. Okay, so government can deposit 500 crore rupees in the contingency fund of India. Maximum 500 crore rupees means government cannot deposit more than 500 crore rupees in the contingency fund of India. It can deposit only up to 500 crore rupees in the contingency fund of India. Now friends, after this the next important question is that what is the source of money for contingency fund of India? Okay, so as it is a fund, so there must be some source from where it receives the money. Okay, so I have told you that the upper limit of contingency fund of India is 500 crore rupees, but there should be some source from where the contingency fund of India must be receiving this amount of money. So what is the source of money for the contingency fund of India? So now let us discuss about it. So friends, let's suppose, okay, so now I will tell you a story. So let's suppose what happened that there was some natural disaster. Okay, so what happened that there was some natural disaster. Now this natural disaster can be any natural disaster. For example, earthquake is a natural disaster, tsunami is a natural disaster, volcano is a natural disaster. Okay, so let's suppose if there was some natural disaster. Okay, after that what happened that now that was an emergency condition, that was an unforeseen situation, and government needed a lot of money to deal with that situation. Government needed a lot of money to deal with that natural disaster because people were severely affected by that natural disaster. Many people were killed. So government, there was need to support their families. Okay, and there was a huge loss of property also. Many buildings were collapsed. Okay, many amount of infrastructure was collapsed. Okay, so means government needed a lot of money. Government needed a lot of money to deal with that situation. Okay, so what happened that now government simply, now I have told you that the fund is placed at the disposal of President of India. Okay, so what will happen that government will withdraw money from contingency fund of India. Okay, why? Okay, so what will happen, that government will tell the president that sir, we needs, let's suppose there was 500 crore rupees in the contingency fund of India. So government told the president that sir, we need 400 crore rupees. Okay, we need 400 crore rupees to deal with that natural disaster. Okay, now president is the in charge officer of this fund. So president will withdraw this amount from contingency fund of India, and president of India will give this amount to the government of India. Okay, now what happened, that government used this amount, means government used 400 crore rupees for dealing with the natural disaster. For example, government distributed some amount of money to the families whose main working member was expired. Okay, government gave the compensation to those people who lost their property. Okay, government spent a huge amount of money to bring back the economy on track. Okay, government also supported the small businessmen who lost their shops, who lost their property. Okay, so what happened, okay, and definitely government also has to spend a lot of money on the healthcare of that area. Why? Because if many people must be injured also, so they need treatment. Okay, so there is a need of medicines, there is a need of ventilators, there is a need of doctors. Okay, means government need a lot of money to deal with that situation. So what happened, that government demanded 400 crore rupees. Okay, and president gave government this amount of money, means now 400 crore rupees was withdrawn from the contingency fund of India. So now contingency fund of India was left with only 100 crore rupees. Now what happened, that government spent this entire amount for dealing with that natural disaster, and after some time what happens, that conditions become normal. Okay, now friends, once the government has spent all the money, okay, means government has spent 400 crore rupees, but now this expenditure has to be placed before Parliament of India. Okay, what does it mean? It means that, let's suppose, when this natural disaster happened, at that point of time parliament was not in session. So remember friends, I have already told you about the sessions of parliament, that there are three main sessions of parliament, three regular sessions of parliament: budget session, monsoon session, and winter session. Okay, and special sessions can also be called. So let's suppose when this natural disaster happened, at that point of time parliament was not in session. So what government did, government just withdraw 400 crore rupees from contingency fund of India, and government has spent this amount of money to deal with the situation. But friends, once the parliament will come back in session, okay, so once the parliament will come back in session, then the government will have to place this expenditure before the parliament. Okay, means government has to now inform the parliament that sir, we have spent how much amount of money, 400 crore rupees to deal with that natural disaster. Okay, so once the expenditure is done by government of India, then this expenditure is placed before the parliament when parliament comes back in session. Now the question is that why this expenditure is placed before parliament. So the answer to this question is that this expenditure is placed before the parliament for the approval of parliament. Okay, so this is placed before the parliament for the approval of parliament. Okay, so even though there is no need to take the permission of parliament, there is no need to take the permission of parliament before spending the money out of contingency fund of India. Then also, once the government has spent a amount of money from contingency fund of India, then that expenditure has to be placed before the parliament for the approval of parliament. Okay, so even though there is no need to take the permission of parliament before spending the money, but then also once the money has been spent, then the approval of parliament is needed. Okay, approval of parliament is needed once the government has spent that money from the contingency fund of India. Okay, so now what will happen next? So let's suppose what happened, that government has placed this expenditure before the parliament. Okay, so now there is a expenditure of rupees 400 crore in front of parliament, that government has spent 400 crore rupees for dealing with a natural disaster. Now let's suppose that after seeing all the things, that now parliament is satisfied that okay, there was a natural disaster, many people were affected by this natural disaster. Okay, and definitely government has correctly spent this money and there was no corruption, there was no scam in this. So what will happen, that now parliament will approve Okay, now parliament will approve this expenditure. Okay, so now let's suppose that the parliament is satisfied that yes, government has spent this amount of money for a emergency situation. Government has spent this amount of money for dealing with a natural disaster, and there was no scam, there was no loopholes. Okay, and everything was correct. So what will happen, that parliament will approve this expenditure. And friends, once the parliament has approved the expenditure, so what will happen, that the equal amount of money will be transferred from consolidated fund of India to contingency fund of India. Okay, so now let's suppose the parliament has approved this expenditure. So now what will happen, that 400 crore rupees were spent by the government of India. So what will happen, that 400 crore rupees will be transferred from consolidated fund of India. Okay, 400 crore rupees will be transferred from consolidated fund of India to contingency fund of India. Okay, so now can you tell me what is the source of money for contingency fund of India? So consolidated fund of India is the source of money for contingency fund of India. Okay, so if parliament approves the expenditure of government, if parliament says that okay, the expenditure done by the government is now approved, then the same amount of money will be transferred from consolidated fund of India to contingency fund of India. So what is the source of money for contingency fund of India? So the source of money for contingency fund of India is consolidated fund of India only. Now friends, after this let's move forward to another topic. So the next topic is contingency fund of states. Okay, now what happens, that I have told you that article 267 of the Indian Constitution authorizes the Parliament of India to create a emergency fund which is known as contingency fund of India for entire country. Okay, so what happens, that article 267 gives power to the Parliament of India to create a emergency fund for entire country which is known as contingency fund of India. So what happens friends, that the same article 267 of the Indian Constitution also authorizes the state legislatures. Okay, so this article also authorizes the state legislatures to create their own emergency fund. Okay, so what happens, that the same article 267 of the Indian Constitution also gives the power to state legislatures to create their own emergency fund which is known as contingency fund of that state. Okay, for example, contingency fund of Madhya Pradesh, contingency fund of Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so every state legislature can create its own separate emergency fund. Okay, and friends, all other things of the contingency fund of states will be similar to that of the contingency fund of India. Okay, so what happens, that you only need to know that the same article 267 of the Indian Constitution authorizes the state legislatures, authorizes the legislatures of state to create their own emergency fund which is known as the consolidated fund of that contingency fund of that state. Okay, so every state legislature can also create its own emergency fund under article 267 of the Indian Constitution which will be known as the contingency fund of that state. Now friends, there is no need to discuss about the contingency fund of states separately because all the features and all the things of contingency fund of states is same as compared to the contingency fund of India. So I have just taught you about the contingency fund of India. Now you have to apply all the principles, all the features and all the things of contingency fund of India on the contingency fund of states also. Okay, so now you have to remember that the working and the features of contingency funds of states is similar to the contingency fund of India. The only separate thing is that the Parliament of India has the power to create contingency fund of India and the state legislatures has the power to create the contingency fund for their state. Okay, but there is one thing same, and the same thing is that the same article 267 is empowering the state legislatures as well as parliament to create the contingency fund. So article 267 is authorizing the parliament to create contingency fund of India, and it has authorized the state legislature to create their own contingency funds. Okay, but the features and working of contingency fund of India and states remains the same. Okay. So friends, now the last type of fund is relief funds. Okay, so now the first question is that what is the meaning of relief funds, or what are relief funds? So friends, what happens that relief funds are those funds in which the public, in which the people makes their contribution voluntarily. Okay, so what happens that the relief funds are those funds in which the people, okay, or the public, okay, so relief funds are the funds to which the general public makes the contribution voluntarily. Now what does it mean? So it means that the source of money for relief funds is public. Okay, the source of money for relief funds is the people. But okay, for example, people donates the money. Okay, so what happens that people donates the money in relief fund, but the feature of relief fund is that the nature of relief fund is voluntary in nature. Means, okay, so I have just told you that what is the source of money for relief funds. So the source of money for relief funds is people. Means people donates the money in relief funds. But the thing is that people donates the money voluntarily. Means government cannot force the people to donate the money. Government cannot compel the people to donate the money. People will donate the money when they will wish to donate. People will donate the money when they will want to donate. Okay, means the contribution is voluntary in the relief funds. Okay, so relief funds are those funds in which the general public, in which the people donates the money or contributes the money voluntarily. So what happens that you can donate any amount of money in the relief funds. For example, you can donate 1 rupees, you can donate 100 rupees, you can donate even 10,000 rupees, you can donate 1 crore rupees, 100 crore rupees, 500 crore rupees. So there is no limit. So starting from 1 rupee, you can donate any amount of money in the relief funds. Okay, so basically what is the source of money for relief funds? So the donation of people is the source of money for relief fund. But the best thing is that these relief funds are voluntary in nature. Means people will donate money when they will wish to donate. Nobody can force the people to donate. People donates the money voluntarily. For example, friends, you must have listened about many funds like PM Cares Fund. Okay, so you must have listened about these type of funds. For example, PM Cares Fund, CM Cares Fund, or PM Relief Fund, CM Relief Fund, Natural Disaster Relief Fund. Okay, so now what is the need of these relief funds? So let's suppose if there is some big natural disaster. Okay, so there is some big natural disaster and government has used the money from contingency fund of India, but government is still in the need of money. Government needs even a very large amount of money to deal with that situation. So what happens that government creates a relief fund. For example, government can create the PM relief fund at entire India level. CM relief funds can be created at individual state level. Then people will donate the money as per their wish. Okay, so people will donate the money voluntarily, and in this way a large amount of money will be collected, and then government will use that money to deal with that natural disaster on any unforeseen situation. Okay, so definitely, as the name is relief fund, so these type of funds are created to give relief to the people who are actually affected by the natural disaster, who are actually affected by any unforeseen situation. Okay, so this is relief fund. Now friends, there is one thing you need to remember about the relief funds, and that is that relief fund is not a regular fund of government. Okay, for example, Consolidated Fund of India is a regular fund of government. So relief fund is not a regular fund of government. Government creates relief fund during some emergency conditions. Okay, for taking contribution from people. But what happens that relief funds are also audited by the CAG. Okay, so I have also already taught you about this officer CAG in the previous classes. So if anybody does not know about CAG, then you can search for the topic of CAG in the previous classes. I have already taught you about the topic of CAG in the previous classes. Okay, so what happens that CAG also audits the relief funds. Okay, so you have to remember that even though the relief fund is not the regular fund of government, but then also relief funds are also audited by the CAG. CAG means Comptroller and Auditor General. What is CAG? CAG means Comptroller and Auditor General. So the relief funds, the money used by relief funds is also audited by the officer known as CAG. So friends, that's all for today. I hope that you all must have enjoyed the lecture, and if you have enjoyed the lecture, then please like the video, comment, subscribe the channel, press the bell icon and select all. Friends, now we will meet in next class with a fresh topic. Till then, stay indoors, stay healthy, take care of yourself. Thank you.